Okay, we're live.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's the Gorilla, and
It's the Guerilla. The Guerilla. I just do it. You literally popped on right as we went live. Dad didn't give you a moment to get ready. So, yeah,
it's
sorry
all
about
good.
that.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, I saw that video clip you sent me about that Ukrainian tank. It was very racist.
Yeah, totally
We all know,
racist, dude.
we all know that Western tanks are the best. We all know that everything that the West makes is the most highest technology, because only a civilization that can invent 3,000 genders are able to create such advanced weaponry. And on top of that, man, we have like alien technology, from Mars and shit. Yeah.
Right.
The West is the best. We're the golden billion, bro. That's what they call us. We're the golden billion.
I'll tell you
That's
what we're
right.
really good at. We're really good at using the market
Yeah.
to, let's just say the military industrial complex. We're really good at pushing money into that so we can make money off those stocks. So if you want, we could probably take a look at a couple of military industrial type stocks today and see how they're doing.
Yes. Bitcoin took a dump, I see.
Yeah, and we made money on Algo Factory. Let me see. I entered this trade yesterday.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring up here. Let me see. Okay, so I had, where is it? Let me find this, darn it. Okay, so in the morning, I had talked about shorting this move, right? And
Yeah.
so I had this kind of put up during the morning show. I even had an earlier chart of this from hours and hours ago. And then right here, I entered the trade, and the timestamp uh, on this one is 3:15 p.m. So 5:15 EST, and the trade had gone into profit. I'd probably gotten in like 30 minutes or an hour before, and then the actual next update, which was about 15 minutes later or 25 minutes later, was that trade was won. So, I was looking all day at price heading down. We had the algos flipping bearish. I looked for a pull up and I sold the mini rally, right? So one of the things that I like to do in trading and is I look for a bias to the downside. And when I see a bias to the downside, and I use like liquidity, I use a lot of data, and there was liquidity in this bottom area. But when I see a move down, I look like if I see lower highs, lower lows, we're looking at a downtrend, right? Lower highs, lower lows. We know price is bearish, and I've got higher time frame data also giving that bias. And then I see a rally, I sell that rally. So I look for price to pull back, give me a nice entry, and then I sell that rally because I know the bias is bearish, right? And I have an algorithm or two that can tell me, like, okay, this pullback to the upside is in the middle of a bearish move. This move up is in the middle of a much higher time frame move down. And my data tells me that, okay, that move is exhausted and it's now time to enter the trade. And I entered that trade within 30 minutes. I mean, it was a beautiful entry. I didn't have my targets all the way down here because my data had the liquidity down to, I think, 60,300 or 60,500, something like that. So my target wasn't as deep as it could have been. Price really, really dug down deeper than the data indicated it was going to, and that's fine. I mean, I still got a 2-to-1. You risk $500 to make 1,000 or $100 to make 200, whatever your number is. So that was a beautiful win, and it happened live on Algo Factory. Now I do, when I share trades at Algo Factory, this trade took all day to set up, right? So I identified the possibility of this trade now during this show. And it was on, I think it was during the private live lab. I don't think, I may have identified it during the public where, we all are right now. Either way, it was identified at, 8 a.m. EST or, 9 a.m. EST around about that time. And it was several hours later that this actually played out. So, I was talking to an Algo Factory member yesterday, and he was talking about how, well, yeah, I can't join the live shows. And I'm like, well, we got 100 people and only about 20 of them are on the live shows. But everybody's successful. Everybody's building their algo. It's not required that you are there for the live shows. It is probably a really good idea that you watch the recordings afterwards, because the live shows are there for you to learn, right? So Algo Factory is not a signal service. We don't say, hey, follow our trades. Like, it's not what it's about. We're not here to give you a fish. We're here to teach you how to fish. And in teaching you how to fish, I show you how I'm fishing. So you're not here to follow our trades. It's just not what we are. However, I can't stop you from doing it, but that's not what this is about. I will share my trades so you can learn. And I'm sure there are people following my trades. I'm not saying you can't do it, but that's not what this is about. And either way, that was a nice win. That was a beautiful win. And it was within I think it was within 30, 45 minutes entering the trade that this thing nuked down. So, saw it coming, took the opportunity. Beautiful thing. Let's see if we don't have any comments. So what I can do with the remaining time of the live lab is we can take a quick look at whatever military industrial complex stock you want to see.
Let's bring up Lockheed, man.
Yeah.
Let's bring up the big one.
Lockheed Martin Corp. All right, so I'm going to zoom out because this is a low time frame. We're going to take a look at what is basically the daily. So bullish as hell. Is Lockheed part of the Dow?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I think so. They're a huge company.
Right.
Maybe not.
They're a
I'm
huge
not
company.
sure.
That's fine. Yeah. Whatever it is, Lockheed didn't do a whole lot between 2022 and mid 2024. It basically stayed between 390 and really, let me make this proper. 390 and 490 had $100 range, and there was plenty of opportunity to trade those ranges, right? Lots of opportunity to buy the bottoms and sell the tops if you're shorting stocks, or at least just taking profit at the top. 1, 2, 3 opportunities in that time for very high time frame trades, like people who almost more like investor types. They just want to look for a good deal and then that kind of thing. In the end, though, it did pop up, right? So you have this massive consolidation. It looks like I've already mapped out what I think will happen, because you see this Fibonacci tool. So interestingly enough, what I did, just to show you all how I got, because it's at the first target right now. So the target that I chose whenever we did this, which is probably in July or whatever it is, that first target was at 550, and price is it just hit that as of the beginning of August, right? So we've already looked at this. First target has already been met. So this would have been a successful trade had I chosen to trade it. But I looked at this move up, this impulse from here to here, right? Let's see, 0, 1 to 0. Okay, so let's refine this a little bit. Major impulse would have gone to here. Okay, so first target was actually hit, right about July 26th. And it's on its way to the second target. And that second target is 584. So, at this point, you're looking at a move from 560 to 580. That's like, 4% maybe? It's not a huge gain, and price is already pretty extended. But this is the kind of trade you're doing on a higher time frame. So one could go to a lower time frame and have a different sort of a risk profile. The way I would do that would be, let's jump to a lower time frame. All right, we have our target at 582. And let's take a look just at the next one down 3 hour. And let's take a look at the algos. Algos are bullish. I can tell you that. Everything's bullish. So we know the algos are for a move up. So let's see what the price action says, right? Okay, so this is a 3 hour chart. So this is going back to the beginning of the month. And we can see here that there is a clear upper limit where price has tried to rally. You see these wicks rallying up and then just getting rejected over and over again at 562.92. So probably the safest thing to do is to let price go above 562, either with conviction or with time. So it either needs to kind of jump up pretty hard and then ideally pull back, and you grab the pullback, right? Or it would be with just staying above it for a period of time, even if it's not a strong push above, but it does go above this limit. Might even be a little more conservative, maybe 563, something like that. But if price goes above there, and even if it doesn't move hard, but it just hangs out there for a few days, then you kind of have your clue here that, okay, it's probably going to go up. And so a trade in that case would, if it's kind of the soft move, right, without conviction but with time, I would go long. Because what would happen in that case? You get a range. Price would probably build a small range above the breakout, something like this. And then I probably, in that case, would have a very tight stop with a high profitability. I'd wait for it to break out. Stop loss would be sitting in inside that range based on some of the structure in there. And then I probably would take profit right before that target. And you're looking at a 6-to-1. That's kind of the ideal scenario. But if it were just like a breakout of the current range with conviction, I might not have the best risk to reward. But let's say price like jammed up really hard like this, I'd look for a pullback and then long that. And so the entry would be something like this. My stop loss would probably be a little deeper. I want to take advantage of some of the structure back here, but you're still looking at a 3-to-1. So, but that plan, either the one breakout or the other, that's how I would plan this. So, and that's just how I do things. Got algos that give me the bias, and then I have price action and plans to give me the trade. Via the Guerilla, we are now at the end of the private or the public live lab. So, can you get us out of here, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, join us over in the private section where we give you a lot of juicy details. And yes, it's been the doldrums of summer, but it's going to be an action-packed fall. You're going to see things happen globally, and that pertains around the world and the nexus that is the U.S. elections. Things are going to be flying, things are going to be going sideways, things are going to be volatile, and you want to learn how to be profitable in a scenario and situation like that. And in order to do that, you got to be right here, where we teach you not only how to trade, but to build the algorithms that trade on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can have a life. And then on top of that, you'll get the geopolitical, geostrategic, geoeconomic of what the hell's really going on in the background, which is super important. With that being said, Cowboy, let's go private.
Join us or die.